Okay, good morning or afternoon. This is Miss Sulsar. I'm going over the 7th grade fall semester review for math that was sent out in a Google form for you to look at earlier last week, but I'm going over it and the answers in case you wanted to look over them as well before taking your exam. So let's get started with number 1. An equation is modeled. What value of x makes the equation true? All right, so you can go about this in two ways. You can use the picture where it's 3 x's. So this is 3 x's and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 ones equals a positive 1. All these are positive. There's not a key here. Sometimes there's a key and that'll be shaded showing you positive or negative, or they might have a negative symbol in here, but all of these are positive ones. I need to get x by itself. In order to get x by itself, I need to get rid of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ones. But if you notice, I can't just cross them out and subtract them because I don't have whatever I do to one side, I got to do the other, and I don't have that. So this is where we introduce what's zero pairs. Zero pairs are where I introduce the opposite in order to cancel out. So I'm going to introduce the opposite of a positive 1 is a negative 1. And I need to introduce and put pair with it 7 of them total. So here's one here. That will cancel each other out. Here's a negative 1 here. That will cancel out another one. That cancels each other out. I have another negative 1. It will cancel out another one here. I have a negative 1 here. It will cancel out this one. I have another negative 1 I'm going to put. That will cancel out a 0, make a 0 pair right here. And then I have another one, cancel out here. And then one more. Now, in order for that to happen, I had to put 7 negatives to make 7 zero pairs. So whatever I do to one side, I got to do the other. So I have to add 7 negatives. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry, one of those looks really big. So all these are negative ones. There is a positive 1 over here. So what's going to happen is it's going to cancel out one of the negatives cancels out the positive and leaves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 negatives remaining. So now I have 3 x's equals 6 negatives. When I have these x's, I need to split them up into 3 separate groups. And whatever I do to one side to get x alone, I need to do the other. So I split it up into 3 separate groups that are equal. So I'd split them up into 3 groups. There's a group here, a group here, and I have a group here. Those are 3 groups. Each group has an equal number of integers in it, and they're all 2 negatives. So the answer is -2. Now that's one way to do it if you're using the picture. If you go about doing it where you see what equation is happening here and then work it from there. So I have 3 x's, so 3x. We had plus 7 ones equal 1. And then I go about solving it the way we've done it with drawing a line underneath. And whatever I do to one side, do to the other. I have to undo any addition or subtraction next to the x first, because here's my variable. So I need to undo any addition or subtraction. Whatever I do to one side, I do the other. That will zero that out and get rid of that. So I have 3 x's left on one side. 1 minus 7 is a -6. So now I have to undo the multiplication here by dividing, do the opposite action. So I divide by 3. And so x equals whatever -2 divided by 3 is, which is also -2. So I can go about doing it either one of those ways to solve that problem. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Number 2, there are 60 players on a football team. 1/3 of the players are offensive players and 1/2 of the players are special teams. The remaining players are defensive. Each team member is either an offensive player, special teams, or a defensive player. The number of defensive players is blank. All right, so they tell us there's 60 total. And then they give us these fractions. I'm making equivalent fractions next to it where I have 60 as my denominator. because what 1/3 means is 1 out of every 3. Well, we don't have just 3 players though. We have 60. So 1 out of every 3. And then I think, how do I can 3 times what gives me 60? Well, that's 20. And whatever I do to the bottom, I'm going to do the top. So if 3 times 20 is 60, 1 times 20 will give me the top. Now, if I didn't know that, I could do the proportion way of 60 times 1, which is 60, divided by 3, and then I'd still get the answer 20. So I could do it this way too. 60 times 1 is 60, divided by 2, I get 30. So I'm setting up a proportion to find that missing top piece. Okay, now that I've done that, that means that there are 20 players that are offensive, 30 players that are special teams. The remaining are defensive. So to find out how many are remaining, I need to add the 2 that I have here. 20 plus 30 equals 50. And I had a total of 60 players. So to find the remaining amount, 60 total, minus the 50 that already have been counted for as offensive or special teams, would give me the remaining defensive, which is 10 players. So 10 players. Number 3, Lady Gaga spent $30 to a cashier, paid $30 to a cashier for 4 kits of makeup. The cashier gave her $2.32 in change. Each makeup kit cost the same amount. How much did it cost? Well, first we need to figure out how much she spent on the makeup kit. So if she gave them $30, but they gave her $2.32 in change, we're going to subtract those. So 30 minus $2.32. Okay, 10. I'm going to have to borrow all the way across to the 3 because, yeah, it's going to take some time. All right. And then I can subtract that. 10 minus 2 is 8. 9 minus 3 is 6. 9 minus 2 is 7. And then 2 minus nothing is 2. So she spent $27.68 on the makeup kits, and she bought 4 of them. So to figure out how much each one is, I'm going to take $27.68, divide that by 4. 4 will go into 27 6 times. 6 times 4 is 24. Subtract, I get 3. Bring that down and bring my decimal up. I have a decimal here. I got to put it straight up. 4 will go into 36 9 times. Subtract that. Bring down the 8. And 4 will go into 8 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8. So that will zero out there. So the answer is $6.92 is how much each makeup kit costs. Number 4, what is the solution to this equation? All right, so this is similar to what we were looking at earlier with the modeling, but this time they just have the equation. So I'm drawing a line down, my equal sign. I want to get the variable x alone, so I have to get rid of this 12.23. 12.23, this minus sign is not attached to it. It's whatever's in front of it, which it doesn't have a symbol in front, so it's positive. So to get rid of it, I have to do the opposite, which would be put either a negative or say I'm subtracting it. That will get rid of that. And whatever I do to one side, I must do to the other. So minus 12.23. Now if I subtract those, I get 0. That's going to be 5. I'm running into the answers. 6 minus 2 is 4. And 2 minus 1 is 1. So I get 14.5 is equal to, and I still have this minus symbol, which it's going to go with this minus or a negative 5x. All right, now I've got to undo any multiplication or division. They're doing side by side, which means they're multiplying. So I'm going to do the opposite action. I'm going to divide to get rid of that 5 and get x alone. Whatever I do to one side, I must do to the other. So I'm going to work out 14.5 divided by a negative 5. So 14.5 divided by a negative 5. A positive divided by a negative is a negative. And then I'm just going to divide as if it's a regular 5. So 5 goes into 14 2 times, which is 10. And I have 4 left over, but I'm not done. I've got a decimal to bring straight up, 5 to bring on down to keep going. And 5 goes into 45 9 times, so the answer is negative 2.9. Sorry, they're about to make an announcement here at school. So negative 2.9 is the answer. Number 5, Anna Frankenstein pays $16.70 per month to stay in shape at the gym and paid a one-time $25 registration fee. So far, she has spent $158.60 total for her gym membership. What equation matches this situation? So on this one, if she has spent $158.60 total, that means that's what it's got to equal, which is why they have all of these equaling that on the side. She pays $16.70 per month. Now this per, another way to think of it is each. Each month she is paying $6.50. So this is where our X goes, because if she was going to go for 5 months, it'd be times 5. If it was 3 months, it'd be that times 3. So this is where our X is. So it should be $16.70 times the unknown X of how many months that she has a membership. So this one shows that, this one shows that, this one does not. This one shows the 25 times X, which is incorrect. And same here. That 25 comes into play as a one-time registration fee. That means that we are adding on, it's adding a registration fee of $25 when she first gets started. So it's this every month plus the $25 fee. So the one that's showing that you're adding, the $25 fee. I crossed out one I shouldn't have crossed out. Let me erase that. This one, because this one has the $25 fee. Okay, I meant to cross out. No, that was good. So if I'm adding $25 fee, this one doesn't count. This one doesn't count. This one does. That's what I get for trying to go too fast. I mess up with small mistakes. Need to pay attention. Whoopsie. All right. Okay, number 6. Miss Hughes is making her grandmother's cornbread dressing. The recipe handed down to her calls for 2½ cups of celery and 3/4 of onion for 1 pan of dressing. How much celery and onion would be needed to make 4 pans of dressing? So first we need to find out how much she's got to have of celery and of onion. So that means we're adding those together. So 2½. Sorry, I promise they're about to end announcements. Plus 3/4. To add fractions, you've got to have a common denominator. In this case, a common denominator would be 4. And whatever I do to the bottom to make that become 4, that 2 become 4, I must do the top. 2 times 2 is 4. So 1 times 2 is 2. And then I can add my numerators together. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5/4. But that is improper. That's improper. So 5 is top heavy. So 5 in the house, 4 outside. That goes in 1 whole time with a remainder of 1. So that would be 1 1/4 in proper format. So this is equivalent to 1 1/4. But I want all my whole numbers to stay the same. So this whole number here, I'm going to carry it to the other whole number. So 1, 2, 3. So my final answer is going to end up being 3 and 1/4. Now that's for how much she needs for one pan. This is what makes this question tricky, is because you feel like I've done all that work, I'm surely done, but not quite. There's still one more step. That's how much she needs for one pan. We want to figure out for 4 pans. So there's 2 ways to go about this. One is to add 3 and 1/4 4 times. Like I'd come over here and I'd say 3 and 1/4 plus 3 and 1/4 plus another 3 and 1/4 plus another 3 and 1/4. Because then that would be 4 pans, because it's 3 and 1/4 for one pan. So I could do this to figure out for 4 pans also and add all those up. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 over 4, which is the same thing as a whole. Oops, I've got in the way. That would be the same thing as 1 whole. And then I could carry the wholes up here to the other whole numbers. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it'd be 13 total cups. So 13 total cups. The other way to do it is if I took 3 and 1/4 and I multiplied it by 4. So to do that, I have to change them both into fraction format. So put 4 a whole number over 1, and I have to convert this into an improper fraction. So that's 4 times 3, 12, 13 plus the 1 makes 13. So it'd be 13 over 4 times 4 over 1. And when I do this, I have got to do top times top, bottom times bottom. I'm going to change color for this one. So top times top, bottom times bottom. So 13 times 4 is, let me think for a second, 13 times 4. See, I know 13 times 3 is 39. It's 52. Okay, so 52. And then 4 times 1 is 4. And then I'd need to simplify that by 52 divided by 4, which I think we just did that one. I said that 13 times 4 was 52. So let's see, 4 goes in there once. Let's see if that's actually correct. 1, 4 goes into 12 3 times, so 13. So it also still would get 13 cups. Number 7, Marjorie's mom filled a gas tank in her Honda Pilot and spent $24 for 6 gallons of unleaded gasoline. What is the constant of proportionality that relates to the cost in dollars Y to the number of gallons of unleaded gas? All right, constant of proportionality, which on your 7th grade math formula chart, it shows it as K equals Y over X. So you take whatever represents the Y, and right here they say cost in dollars is Y, so that'd be the $24 on top, to the number of gallons of unleaded gas. So the gallons are going to go on bottom, 6. And then you would simplify. 24 divided by 6 equals 4. So they're paying $4 per gallon. And so the constant of proportionality is $4. Number 8, set A represents integers, set B represents whole numbers. Which Venn diagram represents the correct placement of these numbers? All right, so when it comes to, we're looking at A is integers. Integers are whole numbers and their opposites. So in set A, you can have things that talk about integers would be like 1, 2, 3, and the opposites of them as well. So it could be -1, -2, -3. So it would be all of the whole numbers plus their opposites. But B is just whole numbers. So B is going to be everything mentioned here, 1, 2, and 3, plus 0. Whole numbers like a donut hole Donut holes look like a 0 because they include the whole number. 0 is in the whole number. It is 1. So 0, 1, 2, 3. These are whole numbers. Knowing this information, we're going to look at answer choices and see which one matches the information we have about what integers are and whole numbers. Okay, so A has right in the middle, the B set, they have -7, -32. If I look at the B that I just wrote down, none of the negatives. Negatives are not part of whole numbers, so that eliminates answer choice A. C, okay, 0 is a whole number, so that's true. But when they have 10 here, 10 also could go in here because it's a whole number. 46 could also go in here because it's also a whole number. And if you notice, all of the circle B is inside circle A. That's because all of whole numbers are also integers. All whole numbers are integers, but not all integers fit inside the whole number circle. So this is not correct because they should have moved this 10 in here and the 46 in here as well. B, okay, 79 is a whole number, 4 is a whole number. Now if I look at my integers, they have -2 as an integer, -14 as an integer, and they have 0. Now 0, if you remember, I said that's a whole number, like a donut hole, because it looks like a big circular donut. So they have this one messed up because they should have that on the inside. D, they've got 0 as a whole number, 81 is a whole number, 9 is a whole number. Then they've got the negatives outside. Now the reason why the negatives work outside is because they are integers, but they're not a type of whole number. So these are integers. Actually, all of these are integers. And then these are the ones that are only whole numbers. So D is the best answer choice out of those. That's from one of the first lessons they had at the beginning of the year that I think scared a lot of us on Edgenuity, if I remember correctly. Because it's a lot of vocabulary in that about the different number systems. Number 9, if x equals -8, then which inequality is true? All right, this one is going to take some time to work. This is a problem that you need to take this -8, plug it in for x, and see what you get as an answer. So I'm going to put -8 right here where this x goes. And I'm going to work that problem out and see if it's true. So I'm going to say 7 times -8. 7 times -8 is a -56. So the -3 plus a -56, well, that's -59. So I'm going to see if that makes this statement true. So if this is -59 over here, is -59 bigger than +7? And the answer to that is no. I would much rather have $7 than owe someone $59, because a negative number would be like you're a debt. You owe someone something. So that's not going to be, no, that's not true. So I'm going to do the same thing here, but I'm putting -8 in the spot for x. So it's 2 times -8. 2 times -8 is a -16. So I have -16 minus 6. And I'll see what that equals. -16 minus 6 is a -22. This one claims -22 is greater than or bigger than -12. I'd much rather owe someone $12 than I would $22, so that's not a true statement. -22 is smaller than -12, not bigger than. Okay, C, -4 minus 2x. Okay, so -4, and I'm putting in the spot for x a -8 minus, and then 2 times -8 is a -16. Oh, this is one of those double negative things. -4 minus a -16. These cancel each other out, kind of like I don't dislike ice cream is a double negative statement. So when you really say I don't dislike ice cream, what you really mean is I like ice cream. It works the same thing in math. Subtracting something has a negative action. Having a negative number is a negative action. So two negatives right next to each other, they cancel each other out, are a positive statement. So -4 plus 16, which equals which equals 12. I almost said negative. It equals +12. So according to this, they're saying 12 is smaller than 20. Ooh, this one could be the answer because that's true. We got to try one more though. 3 minus x. So 3 minus a -8. 3 minus a negative 8. There we go, another double negative, which then will make it a plus. So 3 plus 8, well, 3 plus 8 is 11. 11 is not bigger than 15. This is not a true statement. So that means that C is our best answer choice. Number 10, Mason needs to take 2.5 teaspoons of allergy medication plus 1/2 teaspoon of Tylenol. 1 teaspoon is equal to 4.9 milliliters. What is the measurement in milliliters of medicine Mason has to take? All right, so 2.5 teaspoons for allergy medicine plus, that means we got to add the 1/2 teaspoons of Tylenol. Well, 1/2 plus 1/2 is a whole. 1 whole plus 2 is 3. So he's got to take 3 teaspoons. He's got to take 3 teaspoons. We want to know what that is equivalent to in milliliters. This we don't know. But we do know that 1 teaspoon equals 4.9 milliliters. This is using a proportion to find a missing piece. So right here, this is our teaspoons. And this is our milliliters. So to find this missing piece, I would do 3 times 4.9, 4.9 times 3. 3 times 9 is 27. 3 times 4 is 12, 13, 14. And I have 1 number behind the decimal, so 1 in my answer. 1 and 1. And then I can divide it by 1, but 14.7 divided by 1 is just going to be 14.7. So the answer is D. Number 11. Miss Munoz made some cupcakes with rainbow sprinkles. Her cupcake has 30 sprinkles on top, but her husband's cupcake, who doesn't like as many sprinkles as she does, has 1/5 that amount. How many sprinkles did she top her husband's cupcake with? All right, so we want to find 1/5 of 30. So 1/5, that means 1 out of every 5 sprinkles. We want to know, well, how many out of 30? So it's setting up a proportion again. 30 times 1 is going to be 30, and then divided by 5. So 30 divided by 5 equals 6. So he's going to have 6 sprinkles. Because you got it. Okay. I'm showing my work after I explained it. Sorry. I should have done my work, then explained it. All right, number 12. Cody reviews building plans to make sure a building will be built safely. On the drawing of the building, he is reviewing 4 inches equals 80 feet. The actual height of the building is 200 feet. What is the height of the drawing of the building plans? All right, so 4 inches in a drawing actually equals 80 feet. So in the drawing, we have our inches in the drawing and what the feet are that they actually represent. So 4 inches really means 80 feet in the drawing. Okay, if the actual height of the building is 200 feet, we don't want to know what is the height in the drawing. So we want to know how many inches that would be. So I'm going to do 4 times 200. Okay, so 200 times 4. I get 800. So then 800 divided by 80. Take out a 0, take out a 0. So 80 now divided by 8. 8 goes into 8 once. And I have a 0 there, and 8 goes into 0 times because I got to have a place value over each one. So it's 10, but be careful, it needs to be 10 inches. So it's A. It's not 10 feet. They were trying to get us with that word feet by putting in 2 of those answer choices. So we need to make sure that we're using the right unit of measurement. "13. The ratio of red to green candies in a Christmas bag of M&Ms is 4 to 7. If the family size bag is 220 red M&Ms, how many green are there?" All right, so the order that they provide this, red to green, that's the order of the ratio. So this is red, this is green. So I'm going to set up a proportion to help me find this. Red, green, 4 to 7. We want to know, though, what if there are 220 red? So it's going to line up with my red. It's going to go on the top with my 4. We want to know how many green. So this is the part we're looking for. So I'll need to do 7 times 220. So 220 times 7. Seven times 0, 0. 7 times 2 is 14. Carry my 1. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 1 is 15. All right, so I'll get 1,540, and I'm going to divide that by 4. So 1,540 divided by 4. 4 goes into 15 3 times. So 3 times 4 is 12. If I subtract that, I get 3. Bring down my 4. 4 goes into 34 8 times, which is 32. Subtract that, I get 2. And then bring down my 0. I'm running out of space. And 4 goes into 20 exactly 5 times. So there's my answer, 385. Okay, we're getting close to the end here. All right, number 14. Which of these does not represent the distance a car can travel going 55 miles per hour? All right, so they're looking at the different ways you can represent this. You can represent it in a table. You can represent it in a graph. You can represent it in a math equation, or you could represent it in a sentence. So we're going to test each one of these and see if it's true. So in 1 hour, you should be able to go 55. I'm going to make our own little table. In 2 hours, that would double. So 55 plus 55 is 110. So we're going to go and check and look and see if some of this data works out for that. And then at my 3rd hour, it's going to be 55 more than this. So let's see, 55 times 3, or you could say 110 plus 55. It's going to be 165. All right. In the first one here, the table, 1 hour, 55, that's what we have. They don't have, they do a 1.5, but we're going to go to the 2, 110, which is what we have. So this one looks good. This one does represent, we're looking for the one that does not. So this one's good, that's true. We're looking for the false. D, for B, it's the distance equals 55 times the time. Well, 55 times 1 is 55. 55 times 2 is 110. 55 times 3 is 165. This is a true statement also, so this is true. So I know that B is not going to be my answer. C, in 3 hours, a car can travel a distance of 160. In 3 hours, we got 165. So this is not true. This is false. This is actually less than what it should be. So this one might be the not represent. And then D, for 1 hour, we've got a little bit more than 50. For 2 hours, we've got a little more than 100. Or some more than 103 hours. Okay, this is equating to what we're looking at here. It's going up at about the same rate because at 3 hours, it's more than the 150, so it'd be about 160. So this one's good because it's showing about the distance we're looking. C is the one that's not true. It's not equal to the same thing we're looking for. Oh, I forgot to erase the thing. There we go. 15. The table below shows the rate at which different glider planes can travel. Which plane does not travel at the same speed as plane A? So first we need to figure out the speed of plane A. Plane A, if in 2 hours it goes 120 miles, well, if I do 120 divided by 2, that tells me the speed that it's going per hour. So that means in 1 hour, it's traveling 60 miles per hour. We want to know which of these two is not got the same. So I need to do 378 divided by 2. And then I need to do, or not by 2, excuse me, by 6. And then I'll need to also do 490 divided by 7. Let's divide this one by 7 and divide this one by 6. Okay, 6 goes into 37 6 times. 6 times, that's 36. I have a remainder, 1, and then bring down this 8. 6 goes into 18 3 times. So this one's answer is 63. Right here, this is 63 miles per hour. For the 490 and 7 goes into 49 7 times. Oh, this must be the one she was talking about. So that's 49. Subtract, I get 0. Oops, I'm having trouble with this. It goes into 0 times. So this one's going 70 miles per hour. If I were to say which one definitely is not going about the same speed, the best answer choice I would say is plane C. Neither one of them, to be honest, are going the exact same speed. So if they're looking for, I think this was a typo on this review question. So if they're looking for an exact speed, neither one of them, B and C, neither one are going the same speed as A. If they're looking for which one is definitely not even close to the same speed, C would be the best answer choice. And 16, solve the equation negative 8.2x minus 15.3 equals 9.3. So I'm going to use my equation rules. I'm drawing a line underneath my equal sign. Whatever I do to one side of this, I need to do the other. I need to get x by itself, so I'll find and identify where it's at. I need to undo any addition or subtraction first on the side with x. So right here, I have a subtraction of 15.3. To undo that, I'm going to do the opposite action, so I'm going to add 15.3. Whatever I do to one side, I must do the other, so plus 15.3. That zeroes that out. I still have negative 8.2x. And I need to work this part out. So let's see, 3 plus 3 is 6. 9 plus 15 is, 9 plus 5. I'm going to do that one. 9 plus 5 is 14. Oop, I forgot to put my decimal. Carry my 1, 2. So 24.6 equals 8.2x. And that's supposed to be a 4. I know it doesn't look like a 4. I'm trying to make it look like a 4. I'm not doing a good job of that. Okay. I need to undo any multiplication or division now. So since they're doing side by side, they're doing multiply. I'm going to do the opposite to undo it. So I'm going to divide by 8.2. And whatever I do to one side, I'm going to do the other. And that's a negative 8.2. So that will get rid of that. So I need to do 24.6 divided by negative 8.2. All right, when there is a positive divided by a negative, I know my answer is going to be negative, so I'm going to mark that first. Then I don't like to divide with decimals on the outside, so I move it over to get rid of it. And whatever I do to the outside, I'm going to do to the inside. So I'm really doing 246 divided by 82. Okay, I know that 82 is not going to go into 24, so I'm going to have to use estimation skills to think how many times 8 can go into 24. Okay, 8, or round this to like 80, and think 80 can go into 240. Let's see, 8 goes into 24 3 times. So I'm going to put 3 up here and see if I get what I'm looking for. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 8 is 24. It comes out exactly what I needed using those estimation. So the answer is -3 for x. I need to put x equals -3. X equals -3. Let me erase that one line. So x equals -3. All right. Okay, well, thank you for joining me today, and I hope you have a good one. If there's anything else that I can help out with before your exam, just feel free to message me, and I'll talk to you later. Okay, thank you, and have a good day.